What is going on, gang? It's another episode on the Mark with your boy Marcus Washington, where we talk everything Falcons football, man. And we are coming up on our game versus the Green Bay Packers. Couple things I want to talk about in this video before I actually get into keys to victory against the Packers. Packers look good. Sunday playing the Bears, they look damn good, but the Bears also look damn awful. So I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. What's going on, John? So let me address this first. I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube, and I've commented on a couple of videos on YouTube about people being critical of fans being critical of a Falcons win. I've seen some people absolutely go off on the fans about their quote unquote complaining, right? I said my 2 cents about it Sunday. The pass game looked horrible. Even in a win, the pass game looked horrible. You know, I've seen people point out that Desmond Ridder went 15 of 18. His passer rating was 100. I think it was like 111. And no turnovers. I get that. What they failed to mention is half of those passes were either behind or at the line of scrimmage. The touchdown that went to Bijan was all Bijan. That was literally at the line of scrimmage. That's the problem a lot of people are pointing out. So even though he went 15 of 18, go back and watch that game. Desmond Ridder had 32 yards at the beginning of the third quarter passing. So I see other people point out, well, look across the league. Look at Joe Burrow. You know, look at hell, even Josh Allen Monday night threw 3 picks. Right? You'll see them and they'll make that comparison when talking about Desmond Ridder. What they also leave out is both of these quarterbacks have made the playoffs. Joe Burrow, you can just chalk those up to bad games because we've seen those quarterbacks be great. Even with Josh Allen having a terrible game, he still drove them down there for a game-tying field goal, right? Joe Burrow has went to a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow has went to 2 AFC championship games. Joe Burrow has also not been a quarterback for a long time. Joe Burrow has also never lost to Patrick Mahomes, who is considered right now the best quarterback in the game, who also lost week 1. But to compare Desmond Ridder's play to those quarterbacks' play, man, that's kind of a cop-out. Because you can just look at those guys. Nobody's really sweating those guys for having these types of games. They're like, man, it's a bad game. Now, Josh Allen, on the other hand, you can argue he does have, I think he's second most in turnovers since he started playing. My thing is, these guys are getting it past the line of scrimmage, though. And even though we won by 2 touchdowns, you do have a right to critique your team. And I'm sitting here like, for people that are ready to jump off a cliff at fans for pointing this out, my counter is, had we lost that game, y'all would be talking about how awful the pass game was. Y'all would be talking about that. Even in Arthur Smith's post game and his interview that Monday, he was asked about the pass game. So these are by journalists. These aren't diehard fans. These are journalists. It's okay to point out critiques in a win. We point them out in a loss. It's just like when you point out good things in a loss. It's okay. So for people that are ready to rip into fans because fans have an issue with Drake London being targeted once or twice, I think. You know, you got some people talking about, man, y'all need to shut up about that. Well, here's the problem. You drafted these guys high. It wasn't like Drake London went in the 4th round. You drafted him 8. You drafted Kyle Pitts 4. This was against the fan base now. Remember, these same people that are complaining about, why are y'all complaining about a win? These were the same people that were complaining that we got these players this high. I'm all for a win. By week 5, we won't be talking about how bad this pass offense looked unless it's still carrying into week 5. Me personally, I've stated it on Sunday. I think Arthur Smith has the training wheels on Desmond Ridder. Now, what Arthur Smith said was it was a combination of a couple of things. Offensive line protection. You know, a lot of things can be true at the same time. Lindstrom had 3 penalties, right next to each other. Caleb McGarry, you look at some of these, and these guys got paid now. So that could be true. What can also be true is when I went back and watched the game, I saw Kyle Pitts break open 3 times, and Desmond Ridder just didn't throw to him. One was right in front of his face. So what Arthur Smith said is they're going to shore that up. You can also give credit to the Carolina Panthers, their defensive line. So a lot of things can be true. The one thing that's definitely true is the pass game did not look good. So for people jumping off the porch, talking about how bad where the fan base is getting and how they're complaining and we won by 2 touchdowns and y'all aren't real fans or and all this other stuff. What's going on, Kevin? All this other stuff. Fam, realize in losses, we were talking about good things too. So you can critique no matter what the situation is. Look at I'll give you a prime example. Look at Cowboys fans. You have some Cowboys fans skeptical after they absolutely beat the brakes off the Giants, 40-0. I've heard some Cowboys fans say, man, it's only week 1. Man, it's hard to trust this team. In a blowout win. They're like, hey, man, we'll take it. But we know, man, how up and down this team is, man. They played a Giants team where they gave Daniel Jones $150 million. Till this day, I don't understand why. Because he's right above Cheeks when it comes to a quarterback. He's right above Cheeks. So even Cowboys fans are tempered. Now you got some they're jumping off a cliff. This is our year. You have a lot of Cowboys fans like that. But from the Cowboys fans I've seen and heard of, this is kind of like a blip in the radar. It's like, okay, this is only week 1. We've seen them do this before to teams, only to get their asses handed to them when a competent team comes to town. And you look at their offense really didn't have to do that much. So again, you can be critical of your team even if they win. If it's an obvious fact. The one thing that I have not heard is the people that have gotten across social media who have gotten across YouTube to berate and talk down on the fans that are pointing out an obvious fact, I haven't heard them rebut that. When you ask them, was the pass game trash Sunday? They can't really argue that. They can't really argue that. Well, you know, Ritter went 15 to 18. When you actually look at the Ritter had one good pass. Now, he did have another pass that got called back. I think it was on a McCary hold that went to Kyle Pitts for about 22 yards. That got called back. Outside of that throw to Kyle Pitts, that pretty much sealed the game, bro. Everything was at or behind the line of scrimmage, damn near. Why you think the Falcons got booed, bro? Those were the fans that were booing Atlanta. When they asked Desmond Ritter about that, Desmond Ritter was like, "I didn't hear that, bro. How you didn't hear that is amazing." I'm not saying your boy lying. What I'm saying is, how did you not hear that? Why you think they were booing? Was it because of the run game? But here's the thing. Fans are tired of mediocrity. You spent $100+ million on the defense, which showed up. Bates was absolutely as advertised. AJ Terrell, listen, man, I watched his mic'd up yesterday. I was laughing because I'm like, you can't really understand what's being said because these boys are cursing every other word. And I absolutely loved it. Bryce Young looked good in the beginning of the game, and then after halftime, they put the clamps on him. They made him look like a rookie. They started to get pressure in the second. And again, a lot of this could be just simply, hey, these guys didn't really have a preseason. You can only get better. You can say the same thing for the offensive line. You can say the same thing for the quarterback play. However, it does not negate the fact that the pass game looked like cheeks Sunday. It doesn't negate that. So for people coming at the fan base, because the fan base are pointing out an obvious thing, it's crazy to me. Because they themselves can't say that the pass game did not look awful. All they can point to is 15 to 18. That's it. But again, people will hide behind numbers. 15 to 18. He had a 30 plus yard pass play to Kyle Pitts. I think Desmond Ritter only had like a let me go check this real quick. And this is not to slam on Desmond Ritter, because again, like I said Sunday, I don't think a lot of this is his fault. I really don't. You run it on a 3rd and 5. You run it on a 3rd and 6. That's not his fault. All right, so he went for 115 yards. Mind you, when he started the third, Desmond Ritter had 32 yards passing. So again, for me, my personal belief is simply the fact that Arthur Smith has not taken the training wheels off yet. He hasn't given Desmond Ritter a chance to, hey, listen, we're going to give you the same opportunities I saw Jordan Love getting. They had Jordan Love going off on Chicago. I didn't see the same opportunities from Desmond Ritter, or for Desmond Ritter. So could be that. But, either here nor there. What's going on, Ahmad? He says, I'm wondering if Smith truly trusts Ritter to push the ball down the field. This next game will tell me a lot. I don't think the run game will dominate as much Sundays, so let's see how they adjust. from past years with Arthur Smith, we've noticed one thing. If he gets criticism, he does try to address it the very next week. I think there was a week where they were talking about Kyle Pitts not getting the ball, and then they damn near forced the ball to Kyle Pitts. I think it was the week before the London game, actually, when Calvin Ridley had went on his hiatus, right? They pretty much didn't have a choice but to throw the ball to Kyle Pitts, because I'll remind people that first year we got Kyle Pitts, he didn't really get used until that game. And then there was literally no choice because we did not really have a wide receiver to depend on. Same way with Drake London. When Marcus Mariota was our QB, it seemed like Drake wasn't really getting the work that he needed. And then Desmond came along, and all of a sudden there's a connection there, which absolutely stuns me. As that's neither here nor there. I don't know. Gavin says Carolina would have had 15 sacks if we kept throwing the ball. Could be. There were some offensive line issues. Arthur talked about that, and they had to change up. The running game was good, but at the same time, man, I don't know. I saw Kyle Pitts break open 3 times, and Desmond did not pull the trigger. So I think it's a litany of a lot of things, but that pass game was cheeks. It was cheeks Sunday. But yeah. So anyway, a win is a win. It's whatever. But I guarantee you, if we would have lost against Carolina, the same folks that are trying to obliterate fans for pointing out the pass game would have been pointing out the pass game, bro. I can almost guarantee it. But the benefit of us having Tyler Algier and Bijan is our run game is phenomenal. Both guys are making guys miss at the point of attack. And I think I think we're going to end up having the best rushing attack in the league this year. I firmly believe that. When our number 2 can kind of match our number 1 right now, that's a bit wild. You don't really see that. Even with Green Bay, good segue. When Aaron Rodgers was there, kind of like the last 2 years he was there, you saw the combination of Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, but Aaron Jones was still clearly the number 1 back. In this situation, I mean, Bijan is a rookie, but these guys are damn near interchangeable at this point. TA went for 2 tubs. So we scored 24 points. TA got 1, Bijan got 1. So moving into this, I've watched the Green Bay and Bears game twice. I watched it live, and then since we have to play them, I turned around and watched it again. The key to beating this team is a couple of things. One, you have to stop Aaron Jones. I don't know. Aaron Jones did look hobbled. Let me Google and see if he has been practicing. He came up hobbled on a touchdown run. Let me see here. So as of 16 hours ago, he is dealing with a hamstring injury. Okay, Cordell Patterson was in full participation today, or full participation yesterday. Sorry. Jeff Okudah was in limited participation. Troy Anderson did not practice. He has a concussion. They just rested Jonnu Smith. They rested Calais Campbell. So Aaron Jones did not practice, which he'll probably play. but he is dealing with a hamstring injury. G said, what's going on? G says he didn't practice yesterday. That is the key to really stopping this team, because Aaron Jones makes that offense go. But if he doesn't play, Dillon is a great backup, bro. So, matter of fact, let me look up something else real quick. And Jordan Love looked good. He looked good, man. He made some good throws. So, hold on. Okay. So, yeah, if Jones does not go, they probably will have Dillon go, and Dillon is a good back also. But you got to stop Aaron Jones. He's great in the pass game. The man is devastating. His touchdown came off of a pass, and he's a good runner of the football. They're gonna have to make Jordan Love see ghosts out there. The fact that Jordan Love has sat behind Aaron Rodgers for, I think, 3 years, and he's seeing the field great. Now, a couple of things can be true. Like I said, Chicago looked awful. They looked on both sides of the field. They looked terrible. Justin Fields, there was a point in time where Justin was just, he was getting the ball, scrambling and running for his life. His receivers did him no favors. Matter of fact, one of his receivers has gone viral for the lack of play. So it could be a combination of a couple of things. Now we are actually surprisingly, we're projected to win against the Green Bay Packers. Now we've lost the last 2 times I think we've played them. But we're projected to win. So I think if the defense plays like they played Sunday, we shouldn't have any issues. I am quite interested to see how they're going to approach this from the quarterback position, because again, you do have to give credit to Carolina's their front. You got to give credit to them. So we'll see if Arthur Smith takes one training wheel off of Desmond Ridder, because we can't truly see what Desmond Ridder can do unless he's throwing the ball downfield. Line of scrimmage and behind the line of scrimmage work, we can't tell what the hell he's capable of. Now, he's had 5 complete games as a starting quarterback. That could also be another thing. So it's a litany of things that can be playing into what happened on Sunday. But as a diehard Falcons fan, as somebody that has been riding this ship for a while now, I've been a fan longer than some people have been living. And we're talking about grown adults. My YouTube resume isn't that deep because I just started my channel last year. But in these Facebook streets, yeah, bruh. So I'm a talk my ish for a little second, right? Dating all the way back to 2016 when we went to the Super Bowl. After we lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, I said we were going to run the table all the way to the Super Bowl. People did not believe me. There was something that I saw in that game where I'm like, man, this team they're meshing right now. Then I also said another thing. They had to get rid of, I think our defensive coordinator at the time was Richard Smith. I said Dan Quinn has to take over this defense right now, because the defense that we're playing, they're costing us games. We marched all the way to the Super Bowl. The last 3 draft picks I've gotten correct. Now, when you jump on Facebook, you'll see a lot of these groups, and a lot of guys make videos, right? I don't care what nobody says. I had never seen people making videos in these sports. Well, I'll say Falcons because I don't know of anybody else. I hadn't seen it until I started doing it. Now you see it it's a beautiful thing now. But I was making them when you only had 10-minute. Yeah, you only had 10-minute time periods to make it. You had a 10-minute window to get everything you had out, right? And then they gave us Facebook Live, which they should have never done. Because I had post games that would go 3 hours. So believe me when I tell you, there are fans that have been riding for this team forever and a day. And if you have a right to criticize. I don't give a damn if we won or lost. If it's a fact, it's a fact. Run game looked great. That's a fact. Defense looked fantastic. That's a fact. Jesse Bates looked like a one-man army. That's a fact. AJ started shutting stuff down. That is a fact. We won by 2 touchdowns. That's a fact. We made Bryce Young look like a rookie. That's a fact. But you know what else is a fact? Our pass game looked like ass. A lot of things can be true. But this isn't to throw shade or jab at any particular person. But I've stated things on several occasions when Ryanites used to come at me on Facebook. And I'm like, bro, y'all do realize Matt's past his prime. It's time for us to move on. No, man. It's the offensive line, man. It's everything but Matt Ryan. Then I told y'all, after he left, in 2 years, Matt Ryan will be in a suit and tie behind a desk. People thought I was tripping. Did y'all see him Sunday? That's almost 2 years to the day. I said the same thing about Julio. Fam, I'm emotional about this team too. But I can also look at players and be like, yeah, they ain't got it no more. They simply don't got it. Matt's last year here, and we won 7 games, which was kind of impressive when you look at it. But Matt's last year here, you can tell his quarterback play just completely fallen off. Nah, man, he gonna go to Indy. He gonna win him a title. I hope he wins a title somewhere else because he doesn't deserve us. What happened in Indy? Matt got benched not once but twice. Matt got benched. Matt also was on the receiving end of the biggest regular season comeback game in NFL history. This is after he was part of the biggest comeback Super Bowl win. So Matt is in 2 games in his career that don't look good. Now, the first one in the Super Bowl, not going to put on him. I've stated plenty of times, we know where that blame comes from. The only blame Matt has is when Shanahan called for that pass play, Matt has to say no. That's the only blemish. Outside of that, you can put that whole thing on Kyle Shanahan and Dan Quinn. And furthermore, proof is Shanahan did the same thing in San Francisco a few years later. But the Indy game, I mean, weeks before that, Matt wasn't the same quarterback, fam. But when I was being critical of Matt Ryan, I'm getting attacked left and right. And we were losing at this time, by the way. we weren't even winning. We were losing. So for some fans, you just can't be critical of this team at all, whether we win or whether we lose. My thing is, you can be critical of a team if you belong to that team. I've heard people say, well, if you don't like what's going on, quit watching. That's hard to tell somebody that is a diehard fan of a team. There's 31 other teams you can choose to watch. Really? Was the past game good or not? Well, was it good or not? Yes or no? If you can't say yes, then maybe it's you that needs to shut up. What's going on, Dom? What's happening? Kevin says, no cap, I remember when I used to watch you live on Facebook. Yeah, man, we used to go ham on Facebook. Now, being in these YouTube streets, you know, I notice a lot of things haven't really changed as far as that goes. You know, the crazy thing about it is Arthur Smith is the coach of this team, and he was receiving criticism during the press conference, during the post game. He's the coach of this team. They were asking him basically the same thing about the pass game. And a win. So it's almost like, man, listen, we appreciate the win. I appreciate it just for the simple fact that it wasn't a heart attack game. The defense started off a little shaky, ended off strong. Jesse Bates got up out of there. He got up out of there, good to go. AJ got out of there, good to go. All our key pieces healthy. We get Cordell Patterson back this week. There's a lot of positives to pull from that game. And we're above 500 for the first time. Dog, it's 2017. We in 2023 now. There are kids, there are people that had kids in 2017. They had kids. Their kids now are going to kindergarten. Had babies in 2017. They kids can talk a little bit now. That's the last time we had a winning record. So there are a lot of things to be happy about during this game. But the reason why people are pointing out the past game, fam, is you can't just win off of runs. You just can't. Your quarterback sooner or later has to complete passes. And you got the weapons to do it. Mac Hollins is going to be an absolute, I'm telling y'all, this is going to be a dark horse, similar to Cordell Patterson. We saw in Sunday, this guy got hands. And the man walks around barefoot. Now listen, anybody that's on the yabba dabba do, I'm rooting for. This man out here on the football field before the game start on his Fred Flintstone, bruh. And we have to see how great Drake London can be, because we saw in the preseason game, man coverage, he can win that. We already know what Kyle Pitts can do. We already know. It's just finding that balance and trusting Ritter enough to deliver. And I feel that once he takes the training wheels off, I'm pulling for Ritter. Once that balance is there, bro, I'm sorry. 12 games is inevitable. 12 wins is inevitable. But no matter what team won, fam, there have been, man, matter of fact, let me go down to because I do peek into other fan bases. Let me do this real quick. All right, so it started out with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Everybody knows what Patrick Mahomes is. 2-time Super Bowl winner, MVP. He's the first guy since, I think, Kurt Warner to win the MVP and then go on to win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is an absolute dog. Clearly the best quarterback right now active. They lost to the Detroit Lions, who haven't been to the playoffs in forever. There's still doubts on the Detroit Lions. They went into Arrowhead and won, bruh. People still, they pumping the brakes even though they won. Well, you know, Kansas City didn't have Travis Kelce. So we gonna forget the fact that if Kadarius Toney doesn't drop 3 of those passes, Kansas probably wins that game. So that's the first one. You look at the Raiders and the Broncos. There was criticism there too on Denver from their fan base, bro. So it's I think the problem is we've been losing for so long that it doesn't matter how we win. If we win, there's absolutely no complaining, right? My theory is this. That to me is a very mediocre mind frame to have. Reason being is you expect your team to be great. You notice ain't nobody really panicked in Kansas City. They just like, well, we ain't have Travis Kelce, and we still should have won that game. There's really no panic there because the expectation is greatness. You look at Burrow's game. Yeah, man gets benched in the 4th. What the hell happened, bruh? But with Cincinnati, you got to remember their last 2 years, they kind of have games like that. And it's week 1. So I'm not diving super deep on Desmond Ridder, because I firmly believe Desmond Ridder hasn't even gotten an opportunity to show that, hey, I can throw this thing down the field now. Like, if need be, I can go out there and make a play. Reason why I say this is because we saw this same thing with Marcus Mariota when we started losing games. Go back and start looking at some of the play calling. Very vanilla. Arthur Smith stopped trusting Marcus Mariota. Now, some of the play calling Arthur's had, again, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, you run the ball. I get your logic behind this, but this is what I mean by taking off the training wheels. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, Desmond, go get it. If it's an incompletion, I can live with it. Go get it. That's how you start building up trust. But I feel that when we go play Green Bay, you're going to see some throws down the field. Now, if Desmond doesn't make the throws, okay, whatever. This game, I'm willing to give Desmond a pass. But you got to see what you got. It can't be 9 passes behind the line or at the line. It just can't be that, dog. The reason why people are high on Jordan Love is because Jordan Love was throwing it down the field. That's the reason people ain't talking about Desmond Ridder right now. 15 to 18, good completion rating. Only missed 3 passes. And the fact that Drake London dropped one, should have been 2. Ain't nobody talking about Desmond Ridder's quarterback play. Nobody. The jury is still out. Dom says, people used to be on you bad when you was in the group, but you always kept it a buck on every live you did on Facebook. Yeah, listen, man. You know, you have to take shrapnel, especially when Matt Ryan was here. But the Ryanites have been long gone. They kind of disappeared last year when Ryan was out here wetting the bed in the blue jersey. But you have to realize that a lot of these players, man, 14 years is a long time at that position. And you add the fact that Ryan was a above average quarterback. He had some great games. 2016 easily his best year. But in reality, when you look back at it, Matt Ryan is not going to be on anybody's top 10 all-time quarterbacks list. Nobody's. Even Falcons fans are not going to put Matt Ryan in their top 10 quarterback conversation. And mind you, you know, when you look at it, him and Julio, they had our pockets hogtied. I want Desmond to be great, because if he's great, you got him on the hook for another two to 3 years. Look at how this roster is built. Listen, let me give Fontenot some credit. The way this roster is built right now, oh my goodness. Algier, rookie contract. Bijan, rookie contract. Drake London, rookie contract. Kyle Pitts, rookie contract. Shored up Lindstrom, McCary. Shored up Jesse Bates. They gonna take care of AJ if they hadn't taken care of him anyway, or already. But they got the purse to do it now, and none of these guys are gonna break you. When Kyle Pitts comes up for an extension, it's not gonna put you in salary cap hell. The way they've constructed this roster is absolutely fantastic. So I want Desmond to be the guy, because if he is, you don't got to worry about touching this guy for another 2 years at least. Yeah, Don brings up another point. Let me highlight this. Not to mention we're going to have some salary cap next year to get more guys. That was another issue I had with our quarterback. He was hog-tying our cap. Now, mind you, you had to pay him. You had to pay him after 2016. You had to. So a situation happens last offseason that I'm absolutely glad happened. Or actually 2 off seasons ago. Because they were ready to give Matt Ryan another extension. And I'm like, no. Why? The guy is over the hill. Had it not been for us missing on Deshaun Watson, this team probably looks completely different. But because they went after Deshaun Watson and didn't get him, and it left a bad taste in Matt Ryan's mouth, that helped create the roster that we have now. But people were coming for my throat when I was talking about all this stuff. You're not going to win with Matt Ryan. It's just not going to happen. well, man, if you did this and you did that, bro, look at how our salary cap is. Where are you going to get these guys from? So you can critique if this team isn't up to par. We won last week. Great. This passing offense right now, for what they have, it's not up to par right now. Once they get that popping, and it could be, listen, I don't disagree with some of the guys that talk about offensive line. They didn't have a preseason. You got to let these guys work into I don't disagree with that at all. At all, bruh. 2 attempts to Drake London, unacceptable. Kyle Pitts, only 45 yards? Most of it came off of a one completion? That's unacceptable. I don't give a damn what you're running into. When you have like 68 plays on offense and 40 plus go to running backs, that's a problem. And that's all I'm stating. Once you get this balanced to where, man, listen, Kyle Pitts under any circumstance should have less than 80 yards a game. Under any circumstance. You look at Kansas City. Kansas City doesn't really have any stud wide receivers. We saw that Thursday. But somehow, some way, they managed to get Travis Kelce 80 plus a game. That's the basement for Kyle Pitts. 80 or better. You got to find ways to have these guys touch the ball, man. I heard something about Tyreek Hill that their coach talked about. Now, Tyreek went absolutely Super Saiyan Sunday. Man had 200 plus yards. They could not stop Tyreek Hill. But there was something that the coach said that I just shook my head at. And I'm like, Arthur Smith needs to take a page out of this. He said, man, you know what? There are plays that we design for Tyreek Hill where even if it's an incompletion, he has to feel the ball because that keeps him locked in. And you see it. What happens when Tyreek goes off? The next week, a team tries to roll coverage over there, and you got Jalen Waddle wide open in man coverage, absolutely destroying him. I expect Jalen Waddle to have like 20 plus points in fantasy this week. Easy. Same thing can be said with Kyle Pitts. If you just start destroying him with Kyle Pitts, Drake London going to be out there on an island. The man can win 50-50 balls. But I think another issue, and this live is going to go on for a minute. That's why you ain't heard me say, well, I'm going to say this and get out of here. It's going to go on for a minute. I think another issue is Arthur Smith has so many mouths to feed. You'd think that would be an advantage to somebody like Kyle Shanahan. That would be an advantage. But I think he's in love with running the ball. It boded well for him in Tennessee when he had Derrick Henry. But see, their offense ran like a well-oiled machine because really you had him and A.J. Brown. So those were like the two focal points. You look at our offense, bro, it's Kyle Pitts. It's Drake London. It's Cordell Patterson. It's Tyler Algier. It's Bijan Robinson. We ain't even got the guys like Scotty Miller, Jonnu Smith, Mac Hollins. Like, there's so much. So it's like, I don't know if it's overkill. Now, I'm a firm believer of this. A lot of guys talk about the criticism. Y'all aren't real Falcons fans. Y'all Falcons fans are complaining about anything. A win is a win, blah, 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 all this other stuff. I had us winning 10 plus games when the season was over last year. I said last year, before the season started, if Atlanta wins 7 games, that is an improvement because of the roster flip. No more Matt Ryan. You got Marcus Mariota coming in, who should be a designated bench player for the rest of his career, and he was starting. He had a lot of turnover. At this point, Tyler Algier wasn't even a blip in the radar. You had Cordell Patterson as your RB1, and you had Damian Williams. Tyler Algier was the 3rd running back. Huntley had got cut. Damian Williams goes out. Tyler Algier turns into your RB2. They get Huntley off of the practice squad. And then Cordell Patterson gets hurt. Then we find out what Tyler Algier and Huntley can do. They turned into some absolute dogs. And we won exactly 7 games. The trip part about it is we should have won more with that roster. We should have won more. That was a 10-win team last year. So, yeah, people came into this year with high expectations. So, yeah, there's going to be some criticism. Sorry. Because the expectation level is high. It's not, well, you know what, man? If we win 5 games this year, man, and it's a good. No. The expectation here is playoffs with a potential deep playoff run. That's the expectation this year. Anybody that doesn't have that expectation, hey, I don't know what to say. But if you spend $100+ million on the defense and you got all these weapons on offense, 7 games ain't cutting it this year, bruh. I'm sorry. 7 wins this year is a failure. So guys like me, we're looking at this before the offseason even happens. Man, y'all got $100+ million to spend in salary. Y'all go get y'all some dogs on defense. Go get Arthur Smith a toy in offense. 10 wins, 10+. I'm going off the cliff. I'm saying this is 12 wins. Even with my criticism, Sunday, to me, it's a 12-win team. You look at the schedule. As great as Green Bay played Sunday, and they played good, we're still favored to win that game. There's a reason behind that, fam. So yeah, you should have high expectations. Yeah, even guess what, guys? There are going to be criticisms in wins. Those are the facts. Great teams are going to be critical, even in wins. Man, we could have did this a lot better. We could have started off a lot faster. We made this game hard on ourselves. Criticisms. Now, I heard somebody say that's reserved for the players and the coaches. That's not reserved for the fans. I'm going to call absolute bullshit on that. Because fans are basically connected to the team. We take the criticism same way they do. When you at the job. Fam, I'm so much invested in the Falcons and the fandom. Fam, do y'all know when I used to work at 9 to 5? When we lost, I would have to go to work and explain how we lost. Why we lost? Like I'm out there calling plays. Like I'm out there handling time of possession. Like I drafted these guys. I had to explain that right when I clocked in. Hey man, what happened to your team last night, dog? So I got to give full explanations. I ain't even on the goddamn payroll. So yes, fans have every right to be critical, win, lose, or draw. Because when we do great things, we get to bathe in that glory same way. So when Cats is like, hey man, that boy Bijan is the truth. Now I told y'all about that boy. Even though some of these guys that are overcritical now thought we were crazy for getting Bijan Robinson at that spot. Man, I don't know why they did that, man. They had a pass rusher right there, man. We should have took him, man. Same old Falcons. Now what they doing? Bathing in glory. When people talk about Bijan, yeah, man, he the goods, man. So how is it y'all can be critical in the draft, but fans can't be critical during the game? I've sat here for 3 straight seasons. I was in 2 draft lives. Actually, no, make that 3. I was there when we drafted Kyle Pitts at 4. And I told those guys in the group, do not be shocked if they go Kyle Pitts at 4. Then when we got Kyle Pitts at 4, there was a collective sigh. Why we do this, man? See, Falcons doing stupid stuff. That video still might be up in that group, fam. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Very next year, don't be surprised if they go Drake at 8, man. Got Drake at 8. Oh, man, collective sigh. And like Falcons out here falconing. What happened right after we got Drake London? There was a run on wide receivers. This year, don't be shocked if we go get Bijan, man. Don't be shocked. We get Bijan, collective sigh across the universe. All this criticism. Week 1, Bijan scores a touchdown. Beautiful touchdown. Shake and bake, broke a tackle, walked into the end zone. Same folks, Bijan the goods. That's my running back. Why weren't y'all so supportive when we got these guys? Why was criticism so accepted then? Falcons were falconing in the draft. But I ain't say nothing, because you got a right to be critical. If that's how you feel. With me, I'm a ride no matter what. Win, lose, or draw, I'm gonna ride. I'm gonna support this team. If they need to be criticized, that's gonna happen too. Fan base showed you. Listen, man, this fan base is so ready for greatness. They showed it to you Sunday when they were booing the team at the house. You don't do that to a subpar team, to a mediocre team that you expect to lose. Them fans are expecting greatness out of this team, man. Anything less than that, no, we're not going for that. We've given y'all 6 years. So nah, that third and 5 run, no, that ain't gonna do it. That ain't gonna do it. Even the fan bases, they're telling you this. And here's the kicker, fam. This ain't new. We saw this happen in Kansas City. Bro, they just won the Super Bowl. But the Boo Birds started coming out when all those receivers were dropping the ball. This ain't new. Every team is going to get criticized, whether they win or whether they lose. It's just facts. Cowboys blow out the Giants. You got Cowboys fans reserved right now. It's only week 1. They look good, but I mean, they playing the Giants, dog. We know the Giants are trash. I got to see them do this to a team like the Niners. I've also heard that in a blowout. So again, man, I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to go after the fans because they point out an obvious thing. I think we beat Green Bay. I think you'll see the pass game open up a little more. The run game is already there. Offensive line is going to play better. But this is kind of what happens when you play these guys for one series in the preseason. Run game is probably going to look phenomenal. I don't see that slowing down at all. And when you do get Cordell Patterson in this joker position, man, you don't know what can happen. Right now, we are spoiled. That's why the expectation is so high. Expectation wasn't high last year. And the funny thing is people were critical during wins last year. I didn't hear all this uproar about it. We won games in spite of Marcus Mariota. I ain't hear nobody jumping off the porch when people were being critical towards Marcus Mariota. Now, there was some Marcus Mariota love I did not understand. Well, whatever. But when you expect greatness from a team, yeah, there are certain things that you are going to point out. I got us beating Green Bay by at least 10. Because I don't think they can stop the run. And 2, I think our defense is a lot better than Chicago's was. And as long as you can stop, you can't stop Aaron Jones. If you can mitigate the damage that Aaron Jones can cause, because he can cause havoc. If you can stop that a little bit, it should be enough for you to get a lead and maintain that lead. Another thing that I was proud of this team Sunday is the fact that we got a 14-point lead and we didn't give nothing up. Because in the past, we have wet the bed. Having a 21-point lead don't mean nothing. So it seems like, at least for week 1, we conquered that demon. We got up 14 and told Carolina, y'all ain't scoring no more. Bryce, you about to look like a whole rookie out here. So that is it for today, fam. Again, I'm not criticizing one particular person or even 2. I just think it's disingenuous for people to jump off of a cliff at fans that are being critical over something that is an absolute fact. Now, if the pass game is great Sunday, guess who's going to be up here talking about how great it was? Me. Along with other people, because it would be an obvious fact. But I'm going to be here after every single game. Win, lose, or draw. So when people say, well, there's other teams you can root for, let me tell you how hard that is for somebody that rides for a team as long as they've ridden for. Where can you go? I just much more prefer not to even watch football before I jump on another team's bandwagon. Man, I'm so serious about this team, fam. I can't make bets where the loser is required to put on the other team's jersey. I can't even make those bets, fam. I'd rather just bet you money. You will never see me with a Saints jersey on. Never. Never. There are a couple things that I won't say never to a lot of things. Most things that you will never see. You will never, if you see me one day in a New Orleans Saints jersey, fam, they killed me months ago. That's a clone of me walking around here. That ain't me. So it's hard for somebody to just walk away from a team. Man, fam, no lie. A couple years ago, a friend of mine he was a Facebook friend of mine, actually. The Saints had actually it was one of those playoff games where they lost in just amazing cringe fashion, bro. This man made a Facebook Live basically disowning the Saints. This man literally was talking about teams that he was interested in jumping on after that loss. I know this for a fact because I screen recorded that shit. This was back when I was being petty. I still got it. I screen recorded it. And even I told him, dog, don't do this. Before he started, I put in the comment, dog, don't do this. And he read my comment and he was like, dog, I don't even care. I'm hurt now. I'm hurt right now. I'm so hurt. And I'm thinking to myself, bruh, I could never, ever do that. I got too much on the line when it comes to this team, fam. Too much. And I'm thinking to myself, if I would have ever done something like that, the prime opportunity would have been when we lost the Super Bowl. Not only did I not do that, I got on live after we lost the Super Bowl and was just like, hey, man, it is what it is. I'm going to be riding for the team next year. So it's hard to tell a diehard fan to go root for another team. That don't even register. You know, you can't tell people that have a difference of opinion, and we're all for the same team. You can't just tell them to just go hop on another team because you don't agree with their critique of the team. At the end of the day, we all want to see a win. We got to win. Okay, cool. Moving forward, this passing game needs to get corrected. You can't just, man, you know what? Go somewhere else if you don't want to see how this team wins. But the minute we lose, y'all will be talking about the same criticisms we talked about. I'll give you a hypothetical. Let's say Atlanta goes on a 5-6 game winning streak, right? We win games in this same fashion. And then we run up on a team that, for whatever reason, stops the run game. And our passing game is anemic. Those same people come up here and talk about, man, I don't know what they're doing with this passing game, man. Passing game looked awful. Well, hell, it looked awful 5 weeks running. It just finally caught up with you. So you want to be proactive. You want to get this thing rolling so that doesn't happen. This team is capable of literally doing anything on offense. You look at what San Francisco is doing over there with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy isn't an outstanding quarterback by the straight. No. It's just they have an offensive coordinator who knows how to use these weapons. And he's a serviceable quarterback. Do I think Brock Purdy is great? No. Because I saw Jimmy Garoppolo doing the same exact thing before he got hurt. Same exact thing. But they're balanced. They have a run game and they have a passing game. Right now in week 1, we just have a running game. Once we get this passing game up and running, fam, I'm telling you, this team is going to be hard to stop. If Desmond Ridder is the quarterback that I think he is, my God, he don't have to be great. Desmond Ridder has to be Kirk Cousins. That's it. Kirk Cousins. That's all I'm asking from Desmond Ridder. Kirk Cousins. If he's that, 12 games is inevitable. You make 3 or 4 pass plays that mean something. What's going on, King Richie? What's going on, Francis? How y'all doing? Everything's good on this end, fam. And listen, man, I'm not declaring war on anybody in the fan base. I'm done with that. Like, Ryanites, y'all lost the war. Y'all lost the war. That campaign started in 2017. That's how long that war had been going on. It started in 2017, bruh, and came to an end last year. But you know the crazy thing about it? The Ryanites, they're still here. I ain't even mad at that. I didn't tell Ryanites, yeah, you know what? Y'all go over there to the Colts with Matt Ryan. Because I knew they wasn't going to go no damn where. They was just going to shut up. But I've always been about the business of the logo. Man, I've had issues with people that have been in the fan base. Some more open than others. But the one thing I never did was question their fandom. We might have been on polar opposite sides of the fence with other things. We probably didn't even like each other. But I never questioned their fandom. Not once. Not once, bruh. And some of these folks were critical when it came to the draft. But my thing is this. You have every right to be critical about something if you ride for the team. If you're a bandwagon fan, yeah, I'm not taking that. But if I know you for the team, bruh, if I know you for the team, I tell this to people all the time, especially last year. There's really no such thing as a bandwagon Falcon fan because we ain't won nothing. So if you're rocking with this team right now, I'm rocking with you. But when this team starts winning, when we start winning, I'm not accepting no bandwagon banner at all. You gotta show me receipts, bro. You come to me, start talking about, oh yeah, man, I've been down full flat tires my whole life, man. Squad all day. You're gonna have to show me a receipt from like 2009 or something like that, because I'm not trusting it. I'm just not trusting it. Sorry. You're gonna have to show proof and verification of your vandal when we start winning, which will start this year, because we win in 12 games. Now the cats that start hollering about Bijan, y'all gonna have to start showing me them draft receipts, bruh. Because some of y'all called out our whole front office behind that. Or you just say, hey, man, I was wrong. And I see why they did it now. Okay, fine. I'm not going to question your fandom. But I am going to look at you like, yeah, bro, I remember you sat there and you threw the whole team under the bus, bro. But anyway, fam, that is it. I'm off. I got us beating Green Bay by 10 points. And I got us coming out of Sunday 2-0. There will be a spotlight put on the passing game, of course. Honestly, all I ask from Desmond Ridder is to make a couple throws down the field to help us win the game. It's pretty much it. I'm not expecting 300 yards of passing, but it has to be better than it was Sunday. Desmond has to throw a couple of passes down the field. I expect Bijan to be great. I expect Tyler Algier to be great. I am absolutely excited to see what they do with Cordell Patterson. I mean, you can move him anywhere. You can move him in the slot. You can put him behind Desmond Ridder. You can see a 2 running back combo with him and Bijan, or him and Tyler Algier. You can roll him out to wide receiver. You can put him in special teams. Jesus Christ, and especially when they cut a guy, I think, on special teams. So I'm through the moon to see what they do with Cordell Patterson. I expect more than 80 yards from Kyle Pitts. I expect Drake London to get targeted at least 5 times, at least. And I expect this defense to play good. Do I expect 3 turnovers by 1 player? No. But I expect this defense to be consistent, especially on the back end. I'd like to see more pass rush, because Jordan Love is the type of guy who, what I saw in week 1, if he gets enough time, he's going to make you pay. So you're going to have to apply some pressure on him. But again, I think our defense will come through. Nobody was really critical of the defense Sunday. I mean, your defense gives up 10 points. They did their job. And I expect us to come out of there 2-0, moving in the right direction. But I will tell you this. If we win Sunday and this pass game still ain't got taken care of, guess who's going to be back up here talking about this pass game being cheeks? Me. But I still got love for all my Falcons fans, man. I still got love for y'all. If we don't disagree, I don't care. If you represent the red and the black and you're about the logo business, you're fine with me, bro. So with that being said, fam, I'm up out of here. I will see you guys Sunday. Peace.